In a peaceful little town nestled between green hills and a softly flowing stream, there lived an elderly woman named Amma. She was known throughout the town for her warm smile, gentle words, and quiet way of living. Amma's home was a small cottage at the edge of the town, surrounded by a modest garden, a few fruit trees, and a wooden fence that gently creaked whenever the wind passed through. Many years ago, Amma had lost her husband, and she never had children of her own. Yet her home never felt empty because she shared her life with her most loyal companion, a small hen named Poppy. Poppy had soft white feathers, tiny dark spots on her wings, and a bright red comb that bobbed happily as she walked. Wherever Amma went, Poppy followed closely behind, clucking softly, as if she were part of every thought and conversation. The villagers often paused and smiled when they saw them walking slowly together along the narrow paths, Amma leaning on her cane, and Poppy waddling faithfully beside her like a little guardian. Every morning, as the sky slowly filled with shades of pink and gold, Poppy would lay a single, smooth, warm egg. Amma treated this small gift with great care. She would pick it up gently, hold it in her wrinkled hands, and whisper with gratitude, "One is enough, my dear. May we always have just what we need." She would boil the egg, eat half for breakfast, and save the other half for dinner. The rest of her day was spent tending her garden, watering her plants, and growing vegetables for her meals. Amma lived simply, but her heart was full of peace and contentment. One morning, something unexpected happened. When Amma went to collect the egg, she stopped in surprise. There were two eggs instead of one. She blinked, smiled softly, and whispered, "Well, that is generous." She cooked one egg as usual and decided to take the second one to the market. She did not ask for much in return, just enough to buy a little rice and something sweet. She returned home grateful, without a single thought of gaining more. The following morning, Poppy laid two eggs again, and the next day, the same thing happened. Soon the villagers noticed and began talking. Some said, "Sell both eggs, Amma." Others suggested, "Feed Poppy more. Maybe she will lay 3 eggs next." A few even encouraged her to think bigger, buy more hens, and start a business. But Amma only smiled warmly and replied, "One for me and one to share. That is enough." Instead of saving everything for herself, Amma quietly shared the extra eggs. She gave them to a poor family struggling to make ends meet, placed them gently into the hands of children walking home from school, or left them silently at someone's doorstep. She never expected thanks or praise. Over time, people lovingly began calling her Egg Amma, not because of the eggs, but because of her generous heart. Then one year, the monsoon arrived with fierce rain. Day after day, the rain poured down, the nearby stream overflowed, fields were flooded, and crops were destroyed. Many families found themselves in difficult times, worrying about their next meal. While fear spread through the town, Poppy continued to lay 2 eggs each morning. Amma had quietly saved some of them, boiling and preserving them whenever she could. During those hard days, Amma moved silently through the town, sharing what she had. She handed out eggs to the hungry, comforted, worried families, and asked for nothing in return. She gave not because she had plenty, but because she believed that kindness was meant to be shared, especially when it was needed most. One rainy afternoon, a group of villagers came to her cottage and asked gently, "Amma, why didn't you sell more eggs when you had the chance? Why didn't you try to earn more money?" Amma paused, looked at them with calm and loving eyes, and said softly, "Because true happiness is not about gathering more and more. It is about loving what we already have and sharing it when the time comes. I kept only what was enough for me. The rest was never meant to be mine alone." As if in agreement, Poppy clucked softly and settled near Amma's feet. The villagers stood quietly, finally understanding the lesson that Amma had lived every day of her life. Happiness does not come from collecting more. It grows when we appreciate what we already have and choose kindness over greed. When we lift others up, we lift ourselves too, and together we become rich in compassion, peace, and true happiness.